Hi, my name is Bruce Wayne, and I thought I had the perfect family until my 7-year-old casually told me her teacher had been coming home with my wife. What started as an innocent sentence unraveled a secret affair, a hidden phone, a private investigator, and consequences that shook our entire town. You won't believe what happened in the end. Stay with me and let me show you how it went down. I'm Bruce Wayne, 35, and for 8 years I believed I had built a quiet, solid life. Nothing flashy, no drama, just a marriage, a home, and a daughter I adored. My wife, Diana Prince, was 34, warm, involved, the kind of woman people trusted easily. We had one child, our 7-year-old daughter Cassie, bright-eyed and endlessly curious. From the outside, we looked stable, predictable, safe. I worked hard, came home every evening, ate dinner at the same table, and believed that routine meant security. I didn't grow up with much stability myself, so I valued it fiercely. Looking back, the warning signs were subtle, too subtle. Extra smiles, sudden errands, a little distance I chalked up to stress. I didn't know it then, but the foundation of my life was already cracking beneath my feet. Cassie's elementary school teacher was Steve Rogers. Kind, patient, respected by parents and staff alike. He had that calm authority people instantly trusted. I'd met him several times during school events and parent meetings, and every impression was positive. He spoke carefully. He listened. Other parents praised him constantly. When Diana started volunteering to pick Cassie up more often, I didn't question it. She always had a reason. Appointments, errands, favors. It sounded responsible, normal. If anything, I felt relieved she was so involved. That's the cruel irony of trust. You don't guard against what feels familiar. You don't question what looks wholesome. I had no reason to suspect that the man teaching my daughter multiplication tables was slowly becoming the center of my wife's double life. One evening, I came home from work earlier than usual. Diana and Cassie were already there. I sat on the floor with Cassie, like I always did, and asked about her day. She smiled and said casually, "School was fun. Mom picked me up and Mr. Rogers came home with us." I laughed at first, thinking she was joking. Then she added, "They let me watch TV and eat ice cream." My stomach dropped. We don't allow TV before homework. Ice cream is a reward, not a weekday snack. I asked what Mr. Rogers did at our house. Cassie shrugged. "I don't know, they were in the room." The way she said it, simple, innocent, was worse than any accusation. Children don't know how to lie convincingly. That's when the alarm started screaming in my head. I tried to stay calm. I asked Cassie if she was sure it was her teacher. She laughed and told me I was silly. Of course she knew what he looked like. I asked if they all watched TV together. She shook her head. No, just me at first. Every answer stacked neatly on top of my fear. Still, I stopped myself. She was 7. Honest, yes, but also unaware of adult context. I didn't want to drag her into something ugly. So I changed the subject, kissed her forehead, and walked away pretending nothing was wrong. Inside, my thoughts were racing. There were only 2 possibilities. Either my wife was lying to me or something deeply inappropriate was happening under my roof. I decided then that if the truth existed, I would find it quietly without turning my daughter into collateral damage. I watched Diana closely after that. Too closely. Every smile felt forced. Every notification on her phone sounded louder than it should. I waited for her to tell me about Mr. Rogers coming over. She never did. That silence was louder than any confession. I didn't confront her, not yet. Confrontation without proof is how truth gets buried. One night, while she slept, I picked up her phone. The visible messages were clean, school-related, polite, professional. For a moment, I almost felt ashamed of myself. Then, instinct kicked in. I dug deeper. I found a hidden app, Telegram, tucked away like a secret she hoped I'd never notice. That's where everything changed. The very first message I saw wasn't text, it was a photo. And nothing prepares you for seeing proof that your marriage is already dead. The messages were explicit. graphic, familiar in the worst way. Steve Rogers wasn't saved under his real name, just Mark. Flirting, plans, photos exchanged back and forth. My hands were shaking as I scrolled. It had been going on for 3 months. 3 months of lies, bribes, and quiet betrayals. I screenshotted everything, every image, every message. I didn't wake her up. I didn't scream. I just sat there in the dark, feeling something inside me shut down completely. There's a strange calm that comes with certainty. Pain, yes, but clarity too. I knew then that forgiveness wasn't on the table. Some lines once crossed can't be uncrossed. But I still needed more. Not for myself, but for what was coming next. I hired a private investigator. I hated that I had to, but certainty matters when lives are about to implode. I couldn't afford long surveillance, so I created an opportunity. I told Diana I had a work trip. I didn't. I checked into a cheap motel and waited. Friday night, that's when it happened. The investigator sent me photos. Diana and Steve in the same car, entering my house together. 4 hours later, another photo. A kiss at the door. Short, casual, intimate. That image felt heavier than all the messages combined. This wasn't fantasy anymore. This was real, physical, intentional. The part of me that still hoped I was wrong died right there. I called a divorce lawyer the next morning. The story was no longer about discovery. It was about endings. I didn't confront her immediately. Timing matters when truth becomes a weapon. I arranged for Cassie to stay with my brother. She didn't need to hear what was coming. When Diana asked why, I told her it was a sleepover. She smiled. That smile almost broke me. When the house was finally quiet, I told her we needed to talk. She pretended not to know why. I asked about Steve Rogers. She lied instantly, too fast, too smooth. Car trouble, donations, excuses stacked like cards. I let her finish. Then I told her what I knew. All of it. The TV, the ice cream, the messages, the photos. The room went silent. That silence was louder than any argument. For the first time, she didn't deny it. She just asked one question. Who told you? That question told me everything. Not, I'm sorry, not, I didn't mean to hurt you. Just panic about exposure. I lost control. I said things I didn't know I had in me. I told her I hated her lies more than the affair itself. I told her we were done. Divorce, no negotiation. She cried. I felt nothing. I handed her the papers. The doorbell rang. Process server. Perfect timing. She packed while sobbing, and I stood there numb. When Cassie came home, I explained gently that Mom needed time away. She nodded, trusting me completely. That trust hurt more than anything. I promised myself that whatever came next, I would protect her from the fallout, even if it meant burning everything else to the ground. The divorce process was brutal, but clean. I kept the house, shared custody, alimony, the price of freedom. But I wasn't done. Steve Rogers crossed a line that went beyond my marriage. I reported everything to the school board. Investigations are supposed to be quiet. Small towns aren't. The truth spread fast. Steve lost his job. Diana lost hers soon after. Reputations collapsed under the weight of their own choices. I didn't celebrate. I didn't smile. Consequences aren't revenge, they're gravity. Life simply falls where it should. By the time the dust settled, I was alone with my daughter and a future I didn't recognize. But for the first time since this started, I could breathe. The story wasn't over yet, not even close. Divorce isn't dramatic the way movies show it. It's colder, slower. Papers, meetings, quiet insults wrapped in legal language. Diana hired a lawyer who tried to paint me as unstable, angry, controlling, dangerous. Apparently, standing your ground after betrayal makes you a villain now. They dragged moments out of context, twisted arguments into character flaws. But facts don't bend easily. I had timelines, messages, photos, context. The judge listened, really listened. And when Diana's narrative started collapsing under basic questioning, I saw something new on her face. Fear. Not of losing me, of losing control of the story. That's when I realized this wasn't just a divorce, it was a battle over truth itself. I got the house, joint custody, my car, stability for Cassie. On paper, I won, but victory felt hollow. Alimony and child support tied me to Diana for years, a constant reminder of a life that imploded. Every signature felt like closing a door I never wanted to open in the first place. Cassie asked why things were different. I gave her age-appropriate truths. Mom and Dad couldn't live together anymore. She accepted it with the quiet resilience only children have. That scared me more than tears would have. Adults fall apart loudly. Kids absorb things silently. I promised myself I'd never let my bitterness spill into her world. She deserved peace, even if I had to carry the weight alone. Small towns don't keep secrets, they recycle them. What started as a confidential investigation became whispered conversations, then outright discussions at grocery stores and coffee shops. People looked at me differently, some with sympathy, others with curiosity. Diana became the story. Steve Rogers became the scandal. The school board didn't hesitate once the facts surfaced. He was terminated quietly, but everyone knew why. Parents didn't want explanations, they wanted distance. Diana's workplace followed soon after. Officially, she resigned. Unofficially, she was pushed out before the damage spread. Watching the truth unravel publicly felt strange. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt detached, like I was watching consequences unfold from behind glass. Choices have momentum. Once they start moving, no one gets to decide where they stop. Diana went from stability to survival fast, from a respectable job to working nights at a local bar. Some people pitied her, others judged, a few pretended nothing happened. She avoided eye contact when we crossed paths during custody exchanges. The woman who once controlled the narrative of our family now couldn't control a conversation at the checkout line. I didn't celebrate her fall, but I didn't soften it either. Accountability isn't cruelty, it's balance. She had knocked my world sideways with her decisions. Watching her rebuild from the rubble didn't make me feel better, but it made the universe feel fair again. Cassie didn't notice the change. That mattered more than anything else. I didn't recognize myself for a long time. I was quieter, sharper, less trusting. Friends encouraged me to move on, to date again, to put myself back out there. They didn't understand that betrayal rewires you. It teaches you to question smiles, to listen for pauses, to read between words. I wasn't angry all the time anymore, but the anger had carved a permanent groove inside me. Therapy helped. Routine helped. Being present for Cassie helped the most. Every school pickup, every bedtime story reminded me why I survived this in the first place. I wasn't rebuilding for revenge or closure. I was rebuilding because someone small and trusting needed me solid. Cassie adapted faster than I did. She stopped asking when Mom would come home. She started asking which days she'd be with me. Kids don't cling to what hurts them. They cling to what feels safe. Watching her grow through this without resentment humbled me. She still laughed, still trusted, still believed people were mostly good. That scared me, but it also gave me hope. I became more careful with my words, my reactions, my silences. I didn't want her growing up thinking love meant suspicion or fear. If this story was going to shape her future, I wanted it to shape her strength, not her scars. One day, I realized I wasn't angry anymore. Not numb, just done. Diana was no longer the villain in my head. Steve Rogers wasn't worth the mental energy. They became chapters instead of wounds. That's when I knew healing had started. Closure doesn't arrive loudly. It sneaks in quietly, disguised as indifference. I stopped checking for updates, stopped wondering if they regretted anything. Regret belongs to the people who need it. I had something better to focus on, building a life that didn't revolve around betrayal. Freedom isn't about revenge. It's about no longer needing answers. If this experience taught me anything, it's that familiarity breeds blind spots. People don't always betray you because they're evil. Sometimes they do it because they're selfish, bored, or weak. That doesn't excuse it, but it explains why betrayal often comes from the people closest to you. Trust should never mean complacency. Love shouldn't require blindness. I learned to listen more closely, to actions, not promises. And I learned that protecting your peace sometimes means burning the bridge behind you so you don't cross it again. Today, my life is quieter, smaller, stronger. I wake up, make breakfast with Cassie, take her to school, go to work, come home, repeat. There's comfort in predictability again, but this time it's earned. I'm not rushing into relationships. I'm not chasing validation. I'm learning who I am without compromise. Some nights are still heavy. Some memories still sting, but they don't control me anymore. I survived something that could have broken me. Instead, it refined me. Pain didn't destroy my life. It clarified it. If there's one truth I'll carry forward, it's this. You never truly know someone completely, but you can always choose how you respond when they reveal themselves. My story unraveled because a 7-year-old told the truth without knowing the weight of it. Honesty exposed what deception worked hard to hide. And while the fallout was painful, it was necessary. Lies rot quietly. Truth is loud, but it heals. I didn't ask for this lesson, but I won't waste it. If my story reminds even one person to pay attention, to protect their peace, or to choose integrity over convenience, then it mattered. And so did I.
We have come to the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting stories. Have a good one.